You're listening to the Reds Podcast.
This is episode number 25. We're talking about personality marketing. When you're competing against hundreds of other business owners, how do you stand out? Personality marketing. If you're a blogger, a podcaster, or a coach, you'll want to listen to this episode. That's coming up next on the Red Podcast.
This is the Red Podcast. Real entrepreneur development. Make more money. Work less and live a life of freedom. No BS advice that really works. Here's your hosts, David Hooper and Laurel Staples.
Laurel, you're going on vacation again. It seems like just yesterday you were returning from a vacation. You didn't take me. You went down south to the mountains.
Yep. And now I'm not taking you again.
Yeah, you're on the border of North Carolina and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
This time you're going to one of my very favorite cities in all the world, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
I am very excited. I've never been to Canada.
It's a fantastic place. And Toronto, it's like a clean New York. Can you imagine that?
New York seems pretty clean to me.
It's pretty clean now, yeah. After Giuliani cleaned it up. But Toronto was clean first. And it's incredible. It's incredible. Of course, Lake Ontario is up there. It's like going to the ocean.
Well, I'm excited. My friend wanted to do something to celebrate me getting married. And I'm not the sort of bachelorette party kind of gal or bridal shower. I just don't really buy into that stuff. So she tried to think of something cool that she could do with me. And we picked taking a little girlfriend vacation to Canada. So that means you have to stay at home.
Yeah. I'll hold down the red fort here for you.
Take care of the dog.
Right.
Yeah, somebody has to.
Yeah.
So if anyone listening today has been to Toronto and knows what I should do or what I should see or what I should eat, I would love some feedback. I haven't done a lot of research. I thought I'd just ask the locals what's going on. So you can tweet me at Laurel Staples. Let me know what to do up there.
You know, they have 4 Chinatowns in Toronto.
4?
4. It is the most multicultural city in all of North America.
Wow, I'm going to have to get some fortune cookies. It's exciting. I'm going to be very fortunate in Canada.
I hope it's a good one. Well, Toronto itself, it's one of those cities, I think, in the United States and Canada. It's got its own personality, and personality is what we are talking about here on Red Podcast today. Specifically, personality marketing. We've got a great sponsor. We're here in the middle of Red giveaways, Laurel.
30 days of red hot giveaways. It's been going well so far. I'm excited.
Great. It's been so fun. We've got Kindles we're giving away, iPods, Amazon TVs. We've got a Chromecast to give away. Have you seen one of these things?
I haven't seen one of them. We don't watch much TV.
This is by Google. It's very similar to a Roku box. It's very similar to an Amazon TV. And you plug it in the back of your TV. You can watch YouTube. You can do all sorts of cool Google stuff. You can get Netflix on it. You can watch more or less anything that you could watch on some of these other boxes. Really, really small, though. It looks like a thumb drive. It's very cool. So we're giving away one of those today. Today's episode, speaking of personalities, if you've got a personality, you need to know this woman. It's sponsored by Jessica Rhodes. She runs a service. It's called Interview Connections. They're at interviewconnections.com. And if you've got a podcast, if you would like to be on podcast, Jessica is somebody you should know. And you know her pretty well, Laurel.
Yeah, well, we first heard about her, David, when we were at John Acuff's START conference. And we were talking with Rick Barker, who does a similar music marketing thing to what you've done. And he was talking about her. And he was saying, yeah, Jessica, she hooks me up with all these different podcasts and I'm getting to do speaking and all this stuff. And I was like, give me her email, like now. And so I got her email and I've known her ever since. And she's just great. We met her at the New Media Expo out in Las Vegas. And she's just the person to know. I mean, if you're a podcaster, you have to know Jessica.
Rick is a guy that used to manage Taylor Swift. And if you've heard him on various podcasts or seen him on blogs, Jessica is the person that books him. She can book you. So if you're interested Interview Connections is the name of the company, interviewconnections.com. Talk to Jessica. If you've got a podcast, she can hook you up with guests. You know, a lot of people, Laurel, are doing these daily podcasts now, 7 days a week. A lot of them are interview shows, and you need guests. She'll hook you up with that.
Also, sign up for her mailing list. She's got some great free giveaways that can really help you get started in this, and that's all at her website. But I recommend doing that as well.
So let's get back into personality marketing. Here's the problem. You are competing against hundreds of other business owners. How do you stand out? Personality. That's all you can do.
That's the thing, especially when you're a solopreneur and it's kind of like you are your business. Like your personality is what makes it different from all the other businesses out there. For instance, I am a business coach, or I call myself a business jump starter. But I do a lot of personality marketing because there are thousands of people that can do similar things to what I can do out there, but people are hiring me because of my personality, because what I bring to the table. And if you don't have any personality going out there through your marketing, you know, why would someone go for you? Why would someone hire you over your competitor?
Laurel, I think that gofireyourself.com, which is your blog, that's a perfect example of personality marketing. A bigger company couldn't get away with that. It's a bit edgy.
That's safe to say. My friend the other day goes, "Go fire yourself." And she goes, "Oh yeah, I just got that." She took her a while to get the joke.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And if you search for GFY online,
yeah.
You're not the site that comes up.
I am not the site that comes up. No, you're not.
So it
find
pushes
that.
the boundaries of taste, some people would say, and some people would be afraid to jump into that. But if you're a solo person, or if you've got a small business like Laurel does, it can be fun to play with that edge and bring in that personality, and that is the way that you stand out. Because when it comes down to it, more or less we're all doing the same thing. If you've got a service, I'm not saying that you're selling a widget, but you're in a lot of ways selling a widget, just a commodity. You're helping somebody do a task that the next guy could also help them do. Personality is the way to make yourself stick out. It's great for bloggers, podcasters, thought leaders, whatever that is these days, coaches, and other content marketers. Anybody else, Laurel, you would recommend this for?
I think you kind of covered it there. I kind of think of it as if you just kind of take like Dave Ramsey versus, is it Sue Orman?
Suze.
I always get that wrong. Suze Orman. They're talking about pretty much the same thing about getting out of debt and into financial freedom. But if you really hate Dave Ramsey's personality,
which I do, can't stand the man.
There you go. Are you going to listen to him? It doesn't matter what his 5 steps to financial freedom are, what Suze's are, whatever. If you don't like their personality, you're not going to tune in. And that's okay, you know, for them, but they really have to hone in on what is their personality. And that way, I feel like there isn't really competition because there is no other you. And if you use that personality marketing, you can really hone in on which are your like ideal customers to have in your business, and let Dave Ramsey have his people and let Suze Orman have her people.
I think those two are great examples. Dave Ramsey is kind of like the very conservative father that some people wish they had. He's going to tell it like it is in a black and white manner. It's either his way or the highway. Suze Orman, she is a little bit softer, a little bit more liberal on a lot of things.
That's personality marketing.
That's
right
personality
there.
marketing. If you don't want the religious element in your financial advice, you're going to like Suze. If you like the religious element in your financial advice, you're probably going to go for Dave. But more or less, either one of them is going to get the job done for you.
Yeah, seriously, I was reading the difference between their steps to financial freedom on this blog the other day. They're pretty much the same. It's like one is in a slightly different order. I mean, they're given the same information, but that's like personality marketing 101 right there is what they're doing.
See, I thought it was just one step, which is if you don't have enough cash in your pocket to buy it, don't buy it.
I wish I could make millions of dollars telling people that. Like, that's just common sense.
Well, that shows you, though, how personality works with this. People aren't necessarily going to Dave Ramsey to hear that same advice again. He's had 20 years of a career based on giving the same advice, which is don't spend more than you have, live within your means. But it shows how his personality and how personality really for anybody, I think, can extend a very, very simple message and make people want to hear it over and over and over again.
David, what do you think the difference between personality marketing and a company's brand are? Are those the same thing or are those different in your mind?
I think they're completely different. I define brand as what people think about you that you're not necessarily putting out there. It's what other people are saying. And personality, are we just going to make this the Dave Ramsey show? He's such a great example, isn't he?
He is. Go for it.
Okay. Dave Ramsey, if you took him off the air, he probably is that same guy. He just cranks it up a notch when the microphone is turned on. He gets a little bit more heated. He gets a little bit more animated. He yells a little bit more. Personality marketing is about being you, but putting a megaphone in front of it. And I don't think that that's what companies do. I think company just throws something out there and hopes that you agree with them. But the real branding comes from what people think about you and what people are saying about you that's not the company stuff.
See, I think companies can have and use personality marketing, but it's kind of, if you have employees and if you have more people than just you have to kind of come out with a unified front that's the company personality. But when you're just an individual, then you can use your own personality and have that heightened personality. And that's what I would say would be the first thing to do when you're thinking about personality marketing and how to get it into your business is what you said, David, like turn yourself up. I say turn yourself up 2 notches, like be you, but be kind of the best, most animated version of yourself.
So many people, I think, try to come forward, like if we were talking in a radio voice here on this podcast.
I don't have a radio voice.
People try to be perfect. People try to be polished. And I think that's one type of personality. But if you really want to stick out, I think it's you doing what you would do normally. As I mentioned, just putting a megaphone in front of it, turning the volume up just a couple notches. Also bringing in some of your personal life. I think that's important for somebody who's trying to bring personality or sell personality. Not that everybody wants to hear about what your kids ate for breakfast or what you did, but we always do that here on the Red Podcast. We kind of open it up, then we get to the meat of the show fairly quickly, within a couple minutes usually.
So when you say share some of your personal life, what do you mean? Do you share it on your blog or on social media? How would you share it if you're trying to add in your personality into your business?
I think you can do both of those things. Blog, any kind of social media, podcasting. Just don't be afraid to let a little bit about yourself out. I don't think that you need to have a wall. It's not like an us and them thing. When I think of business, at least the businesses that I've had here over the last 20 years, it's really more of a dance where I'm there with the customers, with the clients, with the people that I'm working with. And it's one of those things where we're going back and forth. I need them as much as they need me, so I don't mind sharing a little bit. At the same time, I do think you need to have it focused on the content that you're putting out. I think you have to have it focused on the customers, the clients that you're serving, because it's really not about you. But people want to know that they're working with a human. And that's why I was saying earlier, the personality that we're talking about can't come from a company. Now, every company does have its own personality, but what I'm talking about is really going like full frontal personality where you can ramp it up. And we all know that Google is kind of a cool place to work with, right? You got sleeping pods and you have a campus and bikes that you can ride around the campus, and you've got free meals. We all know that, but is that really personality? Well, not in a way that I think would get people heated where you're going to love people or hate them in the similar way that we talked about Dave Ramsey.
But that stuff is more like the company environment, which is totally different in my mind than a company brand. The company brand is what customers experience. You're talking about what employees experience.
Yeah, but it's what customers